What was it like for you last season not getting to be out there for most of the year?
It gave me an opportunity to like really learn more about the team and about the pack. Like Emma said before, like it's a very aggressive conference. You can't go into any weekend thinking it's just going to be easy to get through. I know Coach Lombardi, she says every weekend's like a super regional. So that's like kind of how we have to treat it. So last season, just like being able to see how the rest of the team handled it really made me more prepared this season on like how I needed to go in and help fight for this team.
What's been working well for you?
I think it's just having to go out there and really just like attack the hitters. You can't like work around them as much because they're going to take advantage of that. So just like being confident and just going out there and having no doubt that your team's going to have your back, because I know they will. I mean, one of the best defenses in the country. So
How would you describe yourself as a pitcher? I mean, you're not necessarily a drop ball pitcher. You're not. I wouldn't necessarily say a rise ball pitcher. How would you describe yourself? What's your forte?
So I would say I do work more up and down than I do side to side, but I also like to tunnel a lot with like my pitches. So whether that's like working a fastball in with like a drop ball or throwing in a changeup somewhere in there and just like hitting corners.
Is tunneling something that Coach Lombardi and you have talked about?
Yeah, and I know that's something that I worked on a lot previously as well, just because like if spin looks similar, if it's going in the same spot, it's going to be really hard for a hitter to tell what exactly it's going to do. So it's I wouldn't want to be the hitter.
How are you feeling coming out of the series this weekend? I mean, you haven't had a lot of innings so far, but you really seem to find your stride in that third game.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling great. Just being able to have like the defense behind me as well. And it's just nice to see. So like this was my first time being able to play in a Pac-12 game, which is amazing. So just being able to see the competition that I'm able to face, it was just a lot of fun. Yeah.
When you're approaching right-handed and left-handed pitchers, do you have a different mindset going into those at-bats? Like when you're attacking right-handed batters compared to like a right-handed?
I think it kind of depends on the batters, because I know with some teams, their lefty batters can be like more pull side or like more gap to gap hitters. But there's a lot of teams that use like their lefties for more like short game, just to be like fast on the bases. So I feel like it depends more on team to team rather than just if they're a lefty or a righty. So yeah.
Where do you feel like you have the biggest room to grow, I guess, as a pitcher?
I would like to say probably just being able to take more on the mound. So just being able to like show up for the team more, especially since like this is like my first season playing in the pack. So just being able to like show up and show out for the team. Yeah.
One thing you were talking about is the pack is so aggressive, and it is. It also has a potential to kind of psychologically break a person, because you're going to fail a lot. I mean, no matter how good you are, you're going to fail more than you succeed almost invariably. How do you individually deal with that?
Yeah. I think it's a lot about having to trust the preparation that I've done, because I mean, this hasn't just been like, oh, I came to Oregon and this is the only preparation I've had. Like I've been prepping for this since before I entered college. So it's just trusting that all the work that I've done is going to show up on the field, and also just like trusting that whenever I do fail, my team's going to be there for me to pick me up as well. Like I don't have to do everything on my own, which is a really nice thing to feel as a pitcher, because it can be isolating. You know, we have a circle around us, but it's the defense that really helps keep us all together. Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that you lean on for guidance, or if you're having something going on that you look to
In the circle?
Just in general. I mean, circle specifically, but outside of circle too.
Yeah. I like to look a lot to like my infielders, just because like obviously when something like if I'm throwing like maybe consecutive balls or something, I'm able to look at them, and it helps remind me that I'm not just pitching for me. I'm pitching so that they can go up and they can compete in the box again. So just being able to like look at them and be like, I'm doing this for you, instead of just being like, because I want to get this girl out.
When you're in pack play and you're playing these teams 2 or 3 times, what are the discussions like when you're not pitching about like how to attack hitters?
Yeah, so I think you have to go with a different approach every time you face a team, because they can only see one pitch or like one combination so much before they get used to it. So it's trying to find a way to look different to the hitters every single time you go up. So while you could utilize a couple different pitches the first couple of at-bats, later in the series or like game 3, it's going to be mixing a lot of different pitches, if that makes sense.
What's the biggest difference in the way that practices are run here and the process is done here compared to your time at UConn?
I think it's a lot more in detail. There's just like so many other factors that we focus on here that I never knew teams were focusing on before. So I know like we focused on like picking pitchers, picking other pitchers, whatnot. And that's something that I've had to change about my motion too, because in Big East, I never got picked, even though I had a motion that would allow for me to get picked. But that's something that I've had to work on since being here, because it is something that they'll figure out. So I would say like in practice, we're just figuring out like a lot of the stuff that we work on the main plays, obviously, but also working on how we can get a step or two ahead of the other team.
You had last year to kind of acclimate to the pack. How do you feel right now? I mean, having had that year under your belt, and now you said your first opportunity to actually pitch against a pack team. How do you feel going into the heart of the season right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I think we still have a lot left to prove. But I think as a team, we're heading into this, and we know without doubt that whenever we get all together, no one can stop us. So feeling pretty good about it.